Mars, a red planet, cold, inhospitable, and yet fascinating. It has preoccupied mankind for centuries. But could this neighboring planet one day become our new home? In this video, we dive into the exciting question: is life on Mars possible for us humans? Chapter 1. Mars, a fascinating planet. Mars is the fourth planet in our solar system and about half the size of Earth. Its surface is covered with huge mountains, deep gorges, and vast desert landscapes. It owes its characteristic red color to iron oxide, i.e. rust, which has formed over millions of years. However, the temperatures on Mars are anything but inviting. They range from -125 degrees Celsius in the polar regions to a pleasant 20 degrees Celsius at midday at the equator. On average, however, the temperature is an icy -60 degrees Celsius. As far as the atmosphere is concerned, it is very thin and consists almost exclusively of carbon dioxide. Oxygen, which is essential for life, makes up less than 0.2%. The low density of the atmosphere also means that Mars does not offer the same protection from cosmic radiation as the Earth. Mars is on average around 225 million kilometers away from Earth. This means that even with the latest technology, a journey there would take between 6 and 9 months. Once they arrive, astronauts would not only be a long way from Earth, but would also have to cope with extremely limited resources. Despite these challenges, Mars is one of the best explored planets. Robots such as the Perseverance and Curiosity rovers have already examined the surface of Mars in detail and found evidence of ancient water and possibly microbial life. These discoveries are key to better understanding the conditions of the planet and one day making human colonization possible. Chapter 2. Challenges of life on Mars. When we think about life on Mars, we are faced with enormous challenges. The atmosphere is not only toxic, but also far too thin to exert pressure. Without spacesuits, people would die in a matter of seconds. Cosmic radiation and radiation from the sun represent another major danger. As Mars does not have a magnetic field like Earth, astronauts would be exposed to a considerable dose of radiation, which would increase the risk of cancer and other health problems. One of the most famous aspects of Mars are the gigantic sandstorms. These can last not just days or weeks, but even months, and have the potential to block solar installations and other important technologies. Such conditions make energy production and storage on Mars a major challenge. We must also ask ourselves how food, water, and oxygen can be provided. Transporting everything from Earth would be extremely expensive and logistically almost impossible. Technologies would therefore have to be developed to extract or produce these resources directly on Mars. Chapter 3. Visions for the future. Despite all the obstacles, there are numerous visions and plans to make Mars habitable for mankind. Companies such as SpaceX are working on developing low-cost rockets that can safely transport people and resources to Mars. Elon Musk, the founder of SpaceX, has ambitious plans. Over the next few decades, he wants to establish a fully functional colony on Mars where thousands of people can live and work. These colonies could consist of large domed structures built from Martian materials, such as basalt. A controlled atmosphere could be created within these domes, allowing the inhabitants to live without spacesuits. Agriculture could be practiced in hydroponic or aeroponic systems that require little water and soil. One key to the long-term colonization of Mars is the use of local resources. Scientists are working on developing methods to extract oxygen from carbon dioxide and to extract water from underground ice layers or the atmosphere. These technologies would not only secure supplies, but also reduce dependence on supplies from Earth. Another fascinating idea is terraforming, the transformation of Mars to make it more like Earth. This could be done by releasing greenhouse gases to condense the atmosphere and increase temperatures. However, such projects would be incredibly costly and would probably take centuries. In addition to technological advances, the colonization of Mars also requires international cooperation and an immense investment in research and development. Nevertheless, the idea of a human Mars colony remains one of the most exciting visions of our time. Chapter 4. Would life on Mars be worth living? Even if we succeed in making Mars habitable, we have to ask ourselves, would life there really be worth living? Mars is an inhospitable, isolated environment. The inhabitants would be heavily dependent on technology to survive and would have to adapt to a completely new way of life. Isolation and loneliness would be major challenges for mental health. Added to this is the physical strain caused by the lower gravity, which could have long-term effects on muscles and bones. So is Mars a real alternative to Earth, or rather a desperate plan B? The answer to this will depend not only on technological possibilities, but also on how well we can adapt as a species and what ethical decisions we make. Mars remains a source of inspiration and wonder. Whether it will one day be our home depends on our innovative strength, our courage, and our responsibility. But what would it actually look like with the animals? Would they stay on Earth, or would they come with us? What do you think? Do you know which animal is the fastest in the world? And it's not the cheetah. But before I tell you too much, just click on my last video and you'll find out exactly that. See you soon.